Hi friends, welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and today I have a special episode for you where we're going to talk about the moon's transits through the signs. Quickly, before we get started, let's go ahead and click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, click on the notifications bell. I post daily astrological content here. I feel so blessed that I get to share it with you. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's go ahead and get into it. So, someone who watches made a request that I should address the how or why of the moon's transits, all lasting 2.5 days. First, I want to clarify the difference between an aspect and a transit. Aspects are the angular relationships between planets as they travel through the signs. Transits are the actual time that the planets spend in each sign. So, the moon has the fastest transits. From a geocentric, astrological, Earth-based perspective, the moon is our fastest moving planet. It also happens to be the only one that actually orbits the Earth. So it is close to us, and it is so close to us that its movements have a direct physical impact on the Earth, as it causes the ebb and flow of the ocean's tides. It also has a physical impact on humanity. Women's menstrual cycles are timed according to the moon's movement, whereas the cycles of other mammals are timed according to the sun. This is why we say the moon is about how it feels to be us. Symbolically, the moon represents our individual personal experience, what our body is like, what sensations arise from the experiences we have. And this is all very changeable. In the typical human way, we change about as much as the moon does. So you see before you an illustration I have put together. The Earth is at the center, as with all charts, although I don't usually draw it in. Because this is a static image, we can't see that our planet is moving in its orbit around the sun, right? But we know that it takes about 365 days for the Earth to go around the sun. Likewise, we know that it takes about 30 days for the moon to go around the Earth one time. So let's talk about the signs for a moment. There are many constellations in the sky, but the constellations we refer to as the signs in astrology align essentially along the center of our sky, along the plane of the ecliptic, which is a topic for another discussion, and they comprise the path along which all the planets, including the sun and moon, travel from our point of view. These signs are unchanging in their configuration. They are made up of various bright objects and clusters of objects that simply look like stars to the naked eye. And I've written them in the middle here. I put them around the edges. Really, they're way out here beyond everything else that we see, especially the planets are much closer to us than anything in the signs. Okay, so I often refer to the signs as lands, and this is because they are really the backdrop or the territory in the sky through which the planets travel from our Earth-centered perspective, right? So there are 12 such constellations or signs in the sky that appear to circle the Earth in a relatively straight line. It takes the moon 30 days to complete an entire orbit of the Earth. Divide 30 by 12 and you get 2.5. So it takes about 2.5 days for the moon to travel through each sign before going on to the next. Furthermore, sometimes the moon is between us and the sun, and most often it exists at some other angle in relationship to the Earth and sun. The moon's position in relationship to the sun and Earth indicates the shape that it takes or how much light it reflects. When the moon and sun are in the same place in the sky from our perspective, we get that dark new moon, and this is because the moon is between the sun and Earth and therefore reflecting any light that the sun shines off the backside of the moon where we cannot see. As the moon's position changes between sun and Earth, so does its appearance as it goes through a waxing or increasing side of its cycle until it's opposite the sun in the skies from our perspective. And that's the full moon. And then it goes through a waning or decreasing side of its cycle until it's once again conjunct to the sun, bringing us back to that new moon. We see remarkable changes in the moon's shape approximately every 3 3/4 days, or as it has passed about halfway through 1/4 of our sky. One more thing. Of course, when we're talking in all these nice round numbers like 30 days or 2.5 days, we are rounding up a little. It actually takes 29.5 days for the moon to go around the earth. And so just a little bit less than 2.5 days to move through each sign. In other words, our clocks are set to round these things up, but we obey the timing of the spheres, not the other way around. And I think that's all I have to say about you all to the moon, to say about the moon to you today. I haven't talked to the moon about you lately, but maybe I will try that soon. I want to thank username LaylaADL5601 for asking me to clarify about the 2.5 day lunar transits. I hope this has helped rather than confusing matters more. If you have a burning question about the astrology of today or about astrology in general, please feel free to comment and ask. Thanks, friends. See you all in the next video.